Okay, well, we are, I think this is episode 3 or 4 on the Smash podcast, and we are extremely excited to have Zain with us, Smash's technology partner. What's it been, a few years? We've connected and been doing some work together, and never met in person.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And the same goes for me. First of all, thank you for having me in here.
Yeah, it's great to have you, honestly.
Thank you.
You know, Zain we had mutual connections. We got introduced, and I think immediately we said let's do some great stuff together, and we've been able to do that. And today we have Zain on the show because, you know, we've had business owners, and we're gonna learn a little bit more about you, Zain. I just want to introduce why it's so cool that we have you here. You know, we've had business owners, people who are using technology, who are being blown away at what this new latest technology, you know, basically AI can do. But when you talk to somebody like you, you're like, that's old news. Like, you know, that's great and it's helping, but where it's going is even better. And I'd like to talk a little bit more about that. But before we go there, tell us a little bit about, you know, who you are. It's, you know, you told me today you graduated from college at 20.
Yeah.
You know, sound like a pretty smart guy. I know you'll probably be very humble about that, but tell us a little bit about yourself and just go ahead, take it away.
Yeah, sure. So as I told you, I graduated. I always have a great interest in computer sciences, so I chose that, and graduated at the age of 20. It was like it's not like I am kind of super intelligent or something, but it's just like I have this I skipped some classes and
you just skipped some classes.
Yeah. So yeah. So then I started my journey as a software engineer, and I, you can say, work on some core technology as at that time, because it's like 10 years ago. So 10 years ago, most of the time, you can say in 2015, the cloud era was, coming in. So getting hands on Azure, AWS, these kind of stuff, and getting in command on core custom development technologies like .NET. So that's my area at that time, and that's how I started working with and luckily I was fortunate to work with some good corporations here in the US at that time, and but eventually as things getting shifted towards you can say more towards technology side of things, and COVID hit, and that happened. So that gives a sense like, okay, we can, do a lot of things remotely. Like that's where a new era comes up. And after that, it started like, okay, why not I do something for myself instead of, just, working in a company and all that stuff. And that shift happened, and, we just kind of, luckily I have to meet you, and,
Right.
we crossed our ways, and yeah. Then we are here.
Right. So where are you from?
So I'm from Pakistan, and it's an amazing country. You know about that there is a lot of great talent there, and like we are there doing you can say a lot of work in technology, and and that, I think that could be the starting point. When at the college, you are getting involved in such kind of activities. It gives you more interest in that. So that happened, and that's
great. So you're from Pakistan. Most of our conversations are over virtual meetings.
Yeah.
What brings you here?
I think the most important thing, definitely, I always wanted to visit US, because that's undoubtedly like it's the tech hub of the world. So being in here definitely connects you with more technology innovations, whatever is happening here, and definitely to meet you guys, a lot of my other customers,
Right.
to meet them in person, and definitely see how they're seeing the future in this AI era, and that's
Great.
what
Great.
brings me in here.
That's great. Well, it's great to finally meet you in person.
Yeah.
And every time I talk to Zain, we'll talk, and I'll come as if I have some great idea, and Zain will say, "Well, that's nice, but this is where it's going. This is like maybe you're thinking here, but really you should be thinking here." And it's always just blows my mind what the capabilities are, where it's going, and sometimes how we limit it because we don't understand it.
Exactly.
And kind of what I wanted to chat through today was, where do you see this going? Because we're using it, our customers are using it, we're building these things together, and they're doing pretty amazing things.
Yeah.
But when we talk about where it's going, that's even cooler. So I want to talk about that.
Sure.
Where is this whole thing going that you see?
So it is going definitely and it's going pretty fast, first of all, and it is going in a trajectory where your existing whatever technology you are using, whatever platforms you are using, it is going to obviously reshape it completely. And I'm sorry, but the rules are already changing, but it is going to be changed in a very fast pace as we move forward. Point is, there is, let me tell you, there is a difference between this foundational layer, right? A foundational layer is of this chat gpt that we have, the cloud we have, right? These are all foundational softwares, we can say foundational AI models. Not every company will build such foundational models, right? But the major shift is where we have this you can say vertical layers, where we have each industry, and then there is a huge gap in that industry about the AI. So what I'm trying to say in here is you have this you have this SaaS platform that you were using right now, you're using. It will eventually have that different capability, that agentic AI, which everybody is talking about right now. That you don't need to spend a lot of money in training your people, in getting them on board there. So it will be you are getting a subscription of a platform which does something for you. Right now it is just okay, we can help you out, but okay, you have to first train, you have to spend more, instead of for instance, sometimes subscription is $200 and you are spending on your people, right, 10 times more than that just to use that platform,
Right.
which is going to change. So I would say, and again, the natural language, the voice AI, that is going to be the key in the future. And it is already, but it is getting to the point right now where every task, everything you will be doing, I don't think so it is going to be any need in the future, or I would, and by future it's not 10-15 years,
Right.
it's just maybe a couple of years maximum. So where you are just talking as we are doing, and things are getting done. That's how the future holds with all our existing businesses right now. So the way, let me tell you, what I have done for a project for a customer. So what happens is they have this team, and and as usually they were working, and somebody has to manage their leads and their pipelines, and all the campaigns and all that stuff, right? And that makes sense. But we just build an agent for them, and what happens is basically now that main manager will just start giving them the commands, and it is working. It is kind of, I would say 70% there. It's not 100%, but it is doing starting from giving them their unfollowed leads to managing their campaigns to everything that agent is doing, which another person was doing. So it's remarkable in terms of cost saving, in terms of doing everything. So these kind of changes are happening very fast, and I think it's not I don't think it's a luxury anymore. It's a necessity now,
Right.
to have that integrated within your systems, within your organization.
So I'm gonna maybe bring this to a point where, like, you've used some terms like SaaS, and
Yeah.
maybe everyone doesn't understand what that means. So I'm gonna maybe bring it to what I do. So we've got our Smash CRM, and you tell me if I'm thinking about this right. We've got our Smash CRM. Somebody signs up. We send them a bunch of emails to do this, do that, schedule your onboarding meeting. They schedule the meeting. They meet with our expert. They talk about what do they want this thing to do? What do we set it up? Like, fill these forms out so we can get all this information. Is what you're saying basically
Yeah.
they sign up and then AI starts to ask them questions and direct the conversation? They could verbally describe what they want.
Oh, yes.
And it processes it, does what needs to be done, and they're onboarded, set up strictly with AI. No meetings need to be set, and it just gets done because of what they tell the system.
Oh yes, exactly. I think you said it right, and that's how it is happening. I was giving the example of like 60% of the work that is now being transformed, and we are working towards the other 40 as well. But that's the beauty. It's not like about that chat bot, that where you just fed that bot like a knowledge or FAQs and that's it. But it's like an assistant, an agent that basically does something as well. It's not just about providing you with a set of just information. No,
Right.
And that's the difference, because right now if you ask ChatGPT, ChatGPT give you every information, right? But it can only give you information that is public, right, and that it has access to. But it cannot give you any information about your business right now, right? It cannot, because there is no access, there is no point there. So that's where the world is heading right now, and I think it's tremendous cost saving if somebody is not doing that. I would say they have to do it, maybe in the like forcefully do it in the next 2 years. But if right now they will have you can say they will get ahead in the line if they do right now.
Right.
Yeah.
So you said it's not a luxury.
Yeah.
It's a necessity, which means if you're not willing to, your competitors probably are. And it's not a matter of 1 or 2 steps ahead. Now they're leaps and bounds and hundreds of steps ahead. So it's important.
Yeah, and I would say start from one painful process. Like, it's not like, okay, let's start AI right now. You don't like it doesn't make sense. Obviously, again, and that's takes us to another important topic, which is basically there is too much buzzword out there, like, okay, AI, but what is the right AI?
Right.
You have to make sure that it delivers the value that your business needs, instead of just for the sake of AI you're adding the AI. So that doesn't make any sense. So start with your painful process. Okay, that's my operational process. That takes like I remember there was we work with a client, and they have this process where it took I think at least a week or so to process several records, and we just created a bot for that, and it was a matter of minutes. Like, it's a huge difference from weeks to minutes. Like, it's a huge difference.
Right.
And these kind of automations basically not only gives you cost savings, I would say it gives you productivity, it gives you efficiency, and eventually you think about outside a zone, like, okay, how I can deliver better customer experience that it was missing due to my lack of resources.
Right.
I would say the as you are seeing in the next few years, the companies that will have millions of dollars of revenue, they don't have much of resources. Sadly, that's the reality that we are having towards, but that's again an opportunity for as well. Like, okay, let's change the roles and be on the other side.
Right.
Yeah.
And so basically you are looking at an upfront investment to build this stuff. The hope is, though, that you become way more efficient, and you're paying for it very quickly by the savings, the time savings.
Yeah.
the headache.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
there are things that as you're talking, I'm thinking like, if I don't have to do that, I'm going to be a much happier person.
Yes.
Because I hate doing X, Y, Z. And if I have a bot or AI handling it for me, at the end of the day, I'm going to be a happier husband, dad, all the above, just because I don't have to do that.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So, upfront costs. But I do think people would be obviously very complex platforms and systems can, the cost can, a lot of people say it's a black hole because it just can keep growing. But I think what you're saying is start somewhere, start
Yes.
small.
Yes.
And
It start from your any painful process. Even
Exactly.
you can start from your customer experience as well. Like, okay, how can I better make my customer experience better? Okay, normally customer experience linked towards your operational efficiency as well. Like, okay, how efficient you are delivering the service, that makes the customer experience better. So, okay, what are operational inefficiencies we have? And due to obviously most of the time it happens in the businesses that, okay, if I need to scale things out, that now the scaling is also linked with automation, with AI.
Right.
It's linked very deeply. Like, if you need to scale out, you need to make your operations flawlessly automated. You need to add AI in there, obviously, based on whatever the use cases you have. But I think without that, you cannot scale. Without that, you are just burning your cash, I would say, just to, you can say, delay that process. So yeah, I think that's how I see this thing. Yeah.
so, I'm sure this whole idea is scary to,
Yeah.
your larger companies probably know some of this and are probably starting to implement. Maybe they don't know in the depth that you're describing, but there's probably a sense. But I'm seeing this being it's manageable for a small business.
Yeah.
We've built some things together for small businesses that you would never guess are investing in AI in their
Yes.
business. And they're not big budgets. They're just saying, hey, we need to start somewhere. They're building these small little wins. And as they build, they see the value. And then they build another one and more value and more value.
Yes.
And before you know it, that small business is using AI to their advantage.
And yeah, and just to add in here, like a lot of new startups that's are
Right.
in there, like they are building those MVPs and pitching them out, and and then they have this ability now with the AI and with limited resources that they can scale very quickly. Like a lot of new companies, you say, like, I think 2023, like you have this ChatGPT just came out, and people now suddenly talking about too much about AI, and now we have another shift of okay, AI can do coding as well, like, right? AI can do programming, where we have seen companies like Cursor that grows from nothing, and now they are millions of dollars there. So I think that and that's another area where if you have a technology company, you can leverage a lot in that space as well. Although it is getting mature right now, people like it's good in terms of, okay, you have to build an MVP, and then you have to pitch. But I think overall, AI is getting there, where I think the future holds, and we have to keep pace with it. That's I think the necessity right now.
Right.
Yeah.
And the other thing I want to mention too is Zain and I have worked on quite a few projects, and this can be intimidating. There are times, as a small business, you're like, I don't know that I want to pick up the phone and initiate that meeting because I don't want to get involved and it be way too much money or way too much of a commitment. You know, and I think people would be pleasantly surprised at where they can start. You know, I really want from this episode people to understand where it's going, but to not be intimidated. Yes. You know, we help people along. Yeah. We ask the right questions. We are not going to oversell or over pitch you on something. Yeah. At the end of the day, we want people to win, and you're only going to win when you do it in small increments. Because the other part I'm seeing is, you know, everybody wants a plan. Yeah. Okay, where are we going to be in 5 years? Where are we going to be? AI is moving so fast that it's almost to your detriment if you plan too far down the road, because who knows where it's going to be. So my opinion, and you could tell me I might be wrong, we haven't talked about this, but I honestly feel like build what you need now in the next 6-8 months, maybe a year, and use it. And then as you're using it, plan the next phase, because by the time you get to that point, there might be something completely new that we never even knew was available or coming back 6-8 months ago. So get that small win, use it for 6 months, figure out what's working, what's not working, what you can build. And there may be a new technology or a new way of doing things that gets us to the next level.
I 100% agree with you in that. And that reminds me of the time, basically, back in 2020, 2022. So it happens like there's a company, you know, they work from in San Francisco. So what they did, like they normally do some law-related work, right? So they help them, you know, draft the proposals and, you know, all the legal documentations and all that stuff. So they have this platform for that. And somehow they have those links in, you know, OpenAI. So like the Sam and all those guys. So like they have those links there. So they just get hands on ChatGPT before the world does. Mm-hmm. So like, you know, a week before, you can say. And what happens is, and that's, I'm talking about like late 2022. And what happens that they have their whole, you know, technology roadmap for the 2023, and they just stop right there. And when they see what ChatGPT was doing, they just stopped the whole technology. It was like 20 million company, $20 million company. Okay. Yeah, at that time. Now see what happens after that. So they basically, the CEO said, like, you know, we sat down and I gathered all the team that stopped doing anything, any project we are doing for our future innovations and all that stuff. Stop that. And we are going to build on top of this thing using these AI models to help law firms, you know, read through all those documents and, you know, all the legal documentation. Is like, you know, when you for instance are having a big case of a financial institution or something, so they have like, you know, bundle of documents. So it will kind of read and, you know, suggest you, okay, where are the discrepancies, all that. And they build those models, I think, within the next month. And that's like a very short time frame where they just build and launch it out quickly, because at that time people were just, you know, listening, okay, there's something ChatGPT, okay, we are using it for our content creation and, you know, these kind of stuff. And they just build that on top of that. And right now I think they are like cross 500 million just this year. So like this kind of trajectory can happen when in this era of AI. Like you don't know what is coming next and how you can leverage that. Right. So that is very important, how you can leverage that to multiply. So that's basically
okay. So Zain agrees with me.
I agree.
Don't plan too far out, because things are changing so fast. If you have this 5-year plan of where you want to be, it's changing so quickly.
Yes, exactly.
You don't want to invest that time and money and then look back and go like, oh my gosh, we could have done it this way because this came out, or there's this new technology or new way of doing things. So it's much different in a lot of ways, not just how quickly AI is going, but the the amount of time you put into, hey, let's forecast this, that becomes difficult because everything's changing so quickly. So, so we got it quick. Everything's changing quickly. It's not hard to jump in the game, especially when you have technology partners like from our side where we understand the marketing, the branding. We can help guide you through. Then you got somebody like Zain who understands the technology and understands where things are going. Pretty good partnership, and but it's great having you here. I mean, the fact that he's here in the States, here in the studio, pretty flattered that you're here, and he's probably sick and tired of me. I keep bugging him and asking him questions, and he can't get away from me, but. That's okay.
No, that's okay. Yeah.
So how's it been? Have you enjoyed being here?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's really great in here. But yeah, weather is kind of tough some days, but it's good.
Good.
Yeah.
Anything else? Anything else you want to share with us, or?
Yeah, I think that's exactly my points as well. That right now it's obviously people were scared of AI, but I think it's the same time for the opportunities as well. That let's get into this AI and see how it can benefit your business, how it can add value, and how it can help you scale. I would say so. Yeah, that's I would say start thinking in that direction, and you will see how quickly this will help you in a matter of months only. Yeah.
Great. So reach out to Smash. If this is something that sounds like you at least want to have a conversation, just reach out to us.
Yeah.
We'll jump on a call.
Yes.
We'll talk about what your pain points, what you're looking to help streamline, and we'll come up with ideas. And we have no problem, too. I know I've said this in the past, but saying, hey, maybe you're not ready for it today.
Yeah.
Maybe do these 3-4 things, and then let's talk in 6 months, and we'll jump on a call and knock this out. So we're here. We're available. We love to talk about this stuff, obviously. So reach out to us, and we'll get something set up. So again, thanks for for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Hopefully this isn't the last time. We can always do this virtually as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I'll bug you to come back to the States.
Sure.
All right. Great having you on, Zain.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks.